Introducing the Non-Tax Dollar, published by the Non-Tax Dollar Organization. Congress writes 4,000 new laws a year. The National Debt Relief Act should be one of them. Congress adds a $500 billion a year to the national debt. If that isn't inflation, then what is? If we balanced the budget and paid back the national debt with $50 billion a year, it would take 460 years. If that isn't inflation, then what is? We propose the National Debt Relief Act. Every year, a fund of non-tax dollars will be created to pay back the national debt in a 20-year time frame. People still have to work and pay taxes. They just won't pay additional taxes to eliminate the national debt. If the government gave $20 million to John Q. Public, it would cause inflation. But if they gave it to AAA Construction to build 4 bridges, we would receive value for the dollars, and it would not cause inflation. So, if the government gave non-tax dollars to pay down the national debt, we would receive value for the non-tax dollars, and there would be minimal inflation. Over a 20-year time frame, by paying back the national debt, the non-tax dollar could even decrease inflation, much like paying off a mortgage. If we don't balance the budget, which is not projected to happen for at least 10 years, by 2025, 18% of our budget could go to interest. Presently, the military spends 16%. In 2016, we spent 6% or $434 billion on interest. That could be $1.3 trillion by 2025. If that isn't inflation, then what is? Why shouldn't we spend a similar amount of non-tax dollars now instead? Paying off the national debt is extremely beneficial. The only problem is lower spending and higher taxes will not be enough. That solution takes 460 years. We need an additional income. That income is the non-tax dollar. In the entire history of our nation, we have only shown a surplus of more than $50 billion 5 times. How do we expect to do it for 460 years in a row? So let's act together. We can't do it alone. We all need to help, though. There are at least 100 million Americans who could easily afford a $10 donation to create the National Debt Relief Act lobby. Without your contribution, we have a 460-year debt. With your contribution, a 20-year debt. Lower spending and higher taxes will not be enough. We need an additional income. That income is the non-tax dollar. So visit nontaxdollar.com to contribute and share. The national debt is like a credit card, not an income. Let's pay it off.